Yeah, right now, I would say that, well, when I say the city, I want to be real clear. There's no general fund dollars.
Okay.
Okay. It's part of the NSP funding that we receive from the federal government for these kinds of projects.
Okay.
This type of project is eligible for this kind of use,
Gotcha.
but what we have to do is we have to change the paperwork and say, we now are deeming this property for this use, not this use.
Okay.
But we bought that property with these
We
funds.
bought
What
this
was the
property with
purchase
NSP
price?
dollars. The improvements that have been made to date have occurred only one of two ways. It's either been funded through NSP dollars, or it was volunteer contributed, but no general fund dollars have
How
been
many
used
of
on
those
this
dollars
project.
were used to buy this property?
Oh, man, that's way before me.
And it goes back quite a few years. I don't even know the, I wouldn't even give you.
I mean, that probably
Is
goes,
that the same house that the Council for the Arts used to be in?
no,
Yeah,
no.
big brick home. It's
If I'm not
faces
mistaken,
south.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
we paid close to 80 for it,
So this one
and I don't know what NSP is put into it.
At some point, the idea was to buy it, to preserve it, just because it's how it's attached to Heritage Park. There was thoughts that if somebody bought it, like as a regular home, some of this is going back just from memory about the intention. I think that the intention was never to do what we're doing today, but of course, we weren't involved with NSP or any of that at the time, so. Or if we were, it was just on the early, the infant stages of NSP. The group, a little bit, just to kind of dive down a little deeper about Enchanted Makeovers, they basically, they go in and they transform homeless or women's shelters and try to make it more of a home than just a shelter. They not only transform the shelter itself, but they also go in and teach these people a trade so they can find gainful employment in the work world. So the program itself is really a very infectious program. When you sit down and you watch the PowerPoint and you learn all the details, it's pretty amazing to see that they're going to call Taylor home, and it's really a great program. But one of the things that I talked to Terry Grau, the CEO of the program, is that what can we do? Well, what can you do here in Taylor to benefit Taylor? We're looking for opportunities to get something in exchange, so to speak. So we kind of talked about the animal shelter, doing something in there, in terms of interior decorating to make it a more positive environment. And she's more than willing to come in and help, create that environment with us. She's done the 2 veteran homes as well.
Well, yeah, she's going to do the second one.
Going
She has
to do the
done
second one. And so, the homes that we're essentially handing off to a qualified veteran, and those have been, pretty impressive, interior designs that she came up with. But the program as a whole is really more than just, what we're really not doing it justice, just telling you guys what it is. If you ever get a chance to sit down, and I pulled up her website, it's enchantedmakeovers.org. Even take a look there, and you can see some of the information that that she has on her website about what their group does. They're nationally recognized, and I believe they've been featured in several publications in addition to the PBS programs.
And in the amendment, it says that they had expressed an interest in purchasing the property, but you're saying that we're actually giving them the property. Did that change?
Well, when I
or is
say-
this worded differently, or?
We, by law, have to have a monetary exchange. And so right now, the intent is essentially you would sell the property for $1. So you can use whatever, terminology, but it would officially be a sale. The property right now is, kind of looking at it from a city standpoint, if we had to look at it on our own with what to do next, the recommendation would be due to the cost of what it would take to fully rehab it and what we could expect to sell it for, my recommendation would be to demo the house. It's not value, it's not worth doing. However, with these unique circumstances, with the individuals that have come to help make this happen, that's the only reason why I would advise or recommend differently.
And the program with Enchanted Makeovers actually started, 6 or 8 months ago when you guys started talking to them about this. So even to some extent, me coming into this, I was a bit skeptical. It really was something that I didn't know if I was going to feel comfortable with. And then after I drilled down and saw what was really going on, it becomes, you really can appreciate what they're doing. And of course with the Home Depot Foundation with the level of investment that they've been willing to put into this. And then even Al's Asphalt, they did the entire parking lot, the entire grade, the entire pour for free. Probably easy a mid to high $20,000 project. They did it for free to donate to this cause. So, you know, when you start talking about tearing it down versus doing something that actually has community benefit, that's when, you know, I became very interested in the program. But again, this is nothing that started in the last, you know, since I've been here. Really, we're just kind of putting the pieces in place that were already, you know, going that way.
Just quick, if I remember right, NSP, we got a big chunk of money.
Right.
And we had to spend it real quick.
Sure.
And
Well, you didn't have to spend it real quick, but there was a timeline.
there was a timeline, but finding the right properties in that was a challenge. You're gonna put more into it than you're gonna get out of it, and blah, 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 but the whole plan is to stabilize the neighborhood.
And the other challenge is that at the end of the program, we couldn't have any money left.
Exactly.
We had to basically take our account to zero. So during the term of the program, you could buy and sell as many houses as you possibly could flip, but at the end of it, you had to have $0.
Right.
So the program is designed to spend money to stabilize your community. And they have qualifying criteria that these types of programs fit into, in addition to, you know, just land banking, you know, properties.
The overall program, it looks like it was $2.5 million, and I heard you say it's winding down, and I heard Rick say, is it gone?
No, it is winding down.
How much do we have left, and
Yeah.
when do we have to spend it by?
Where the $4 million came from, just kind of the history is, we bought a property, we rehabbed the property, we sold that property. What we sold it for is what they call program income. So then it adds to the original amount that was given. So that, there's been a total spend of over $4 million since this program started for the city of Taylor. We are now winding down, and the last large investment that we, the city, used NSP dollars in is the Pinewood site. And so what we're looking to do is, and it's all about balance, is that what we're gonna sell those condominium units for, what we're expecting to get. And some of these remaining projects, as we're kind of closing this out, the goal is that what we're gonna make on program income here will cover the bills on these projects. And at the end of the day, we'll hit zero. We'll be able to close the books and say, we did our job. At the same time, I mean, obviously, we're looking to do legitimate projects that are gonna bring, you know, stability and raise the city of Taylor, you know.
I have one more question. Basically, you know, when you're saying we're giving this to them for $1, is there going to be any sort of safety net or
Yes.
protection to where we say, hey,
Yes.
you ain't delivering what you promised. We give you this for $1.
Yeah, and that's not
we
only,
can take it back.
yeah,
so
yes, it's not only unique to them. Every single NSP property that we've sold has language in it. It's all driven by the federal government HUD. They, you know, the these and the thous and the shalls and the shall nots. So in the event that someone tries, for example, they want to sell it, they can't. I mean, it's got to come back to us.
Okay. But even if they're not delivering, they're not taking care of the place and all that stuff.
They
there's-
change the scope or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
that.
where we can,
They
you know.
can't, yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. Okay.
So if this not.
Now, when you say not taking care of the place, the only, you know, if the grass is getting out of whack or something of that nature, obviously the ordinance is going to get in.
Well, just basically like
But
you're
as far as
saying, it's
trying
not
to do
gonna
anything
hold, it's
dramatic.
not gonna house homeless and then all of a
Right,
sudden.
yeah, no,
homeless starts,
they
you know,
can't.
Where
No.
that can become an issue.
Yeah.
Does the city actually keep title to the property somehow, if we can take it back if they go out of business, or how does that
No,
work?
but there's essentially, there's a lien on the property, there's
Yeah.
controls on the property, but so it's kind of like you own your home, but you don't own your home.
With a lot of the CDBG type programs, they're similar, like if we fund a roof or, you know, windows or HVAC system, there's essentially a lien that before they can ever sell that home, they have to repay that money before they can sell it. But in this case, they can't sell it because technically,
It's a title restriction. isn't it?
there's a title restriction there.
So if they ever tried to do that, as soon as a real estate agent or anybody pulled title from Wayne County, it's going to be right in the thing.
Now, my question is, on the houses that we do, I know there's a time limit. They have to be in that house, I think it's 5 years, or is it 2 years? When we do it as a speed house. So we're selling that house to them, they're giving us money, and they have to be in there for at least 5 years before they can sell it. My question would be, on this project, can they ever sell it? Because let's say in
No.
5 years,
No, because of the use.
okay, I just want to make sure that in 5 years, the economy's back and everything's going good, and they're going, we got a nice commercial property, we're gonna
Right.
sell it for 400 grand and we're walking away from
Right,
it.
yeah, which goes back to your point, they legally, literally cannot do that.
Okay.
And that's not unique to just this property or this project, that's any of these projects that would be similar in scope, anywhere nationally that's under the NSP program would all have those same restrictions.
Well, I think with NSP though, if you buy the home,
But I'm saying nonprofit commercial
Nonprofit.
use, right,
Right.
which is different than a residential use.